I listened to the recent Messiah Matters video and enjoyed it. You were mentioning honoring the Sabbath and being a part of a Sunday fellowship. So let's just catch the audience up. I know everyone in the chat room already knows this. For those who don't know, my family and I attend a Sunday church, and we're very blessed to be there currently. And we don't know what the Lord has in store for us, but right now He's placed us there, and we're very blessed to be where the Lord has placed us. Anyway, so this is where Lewis. I think it's Lewis. This is where Lewis is talking to. I myself try my best to honor the Sabbath, or I would say I'm growing into it. But also fellowship at my father-in-law's Sunday church. I find that we do the same, but my question is with children. How do you prevent them from being confused? Like if they ask, Dad, so it is Lewis, Dad, why do we go to church on Saturdays and Uncle and Papa go on Sundays? Any wisdom that you can share regarding explaining to children, appreciate it. Yeah, this is children are really a focal point for anyone who has them when it comes to teaching faith, right? I mean, I think that we're commanded to teach our children of the faith. It's a very difficult job, I think. I think it's one of our most difficult jobs to do is to teach our children the faith. So how do I navigate this? I have 4 kids, for those who don't know, and they range in age from 1-year-old up to 10 years old. We have found that a lot of what we believe is also preached and taught at the church that we go to, which is one of the reasons that we chose the church that we go to. One of the things that I have found extremely encouraging is that many of the Sunday school teachers have either are pursuing M.Divs or have them at our church, which is great. And so there's no lack of Bible education. Okay, with that said, obviously there are things that we disagree with. Our church is non-denominational, but I would say that they're Presbyterian, even though they're non-denominational. And so there are things like infant baptism that we see on a regular basis. We see a very high emphasis on grace through grace being imparted through the Lord's Supper, which is communion, which is taken every single week. And what I've done in those situations, and Rob has older children, so maybe he can speak to this as well, but what I've done in those situations is I have attempted to ask my children questions. Usually the car ride home is asking questions to my kids. Things like, we did communion, but why do we do communion at the church? And we'll talk about the verses where the church gets things that play into the theology of communion, like Luke 22. And then I'll ask questions like, okay, so at our previous church, why didn't we do that every week? So it's those kind of questions, or they baptized a baby this morning. Do we agree with that? Just asking questions. I've always approached talking to my kids about theology as if they were adults. Obviously, you have to talk on their level a little bit, but for the most part, I'm not going to dumb things down. I'm going to try to explain as best I can. Now, with that said, and I will pass this over to you real quick, Rob, but with that said, there are times when I will start to explain things. I'll get about a minute and a half in, and my daughter will say something like, my Barbie, or, so it's obvious that I have lost the audience, and that's fine. I think that's fine, because those same conversations are going to come up again and again and again. And so for me, it's not necessarily about whether or not they get it the first time or they're understanding the theological implications that I'm trying to give them. It's more about me attempting to constantly say the same things over and over again. So almost like a catechism, right? So that they, growing up, when they grow up more, they will understand, have it in their head, the reasons that Dad believed these things. Okay. Rob?
Yeah, great question from Lewis. It seems to me that if a son or daughter is engaged enough in their mind and they're tracking that they're going to ask a question, in other words, their thinking is sophisticated enough to where they're going, how come we do this and they do that? They're ready they're asking historical
Right.
questions whose answer are going to require a broadened historical frame.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Tell us your thoughts on this subject by leaving a comment in the comment section. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and enable those notifications. And we'll see you in the next video.